and join us on stage. All right, we'll try to keep this as succinct as possible. So I'll start with you, Dr. Omwansa. Just a quick look into the Kenya Innovation Outlook. What are its objectives and aspirations?
Thanks very much, Lilian, and to all the guests and our Excellency. The National Innovation Agency was set up to try and develop and manage the National Innovation System. Now, you can't manage something you can't track very well. And you can't progress if you can't quantify the milestones that you're making. So what we set out to do this year is to lay the foundation. So the agency has been in operation for about 2 years. So last year we set the Innovation Week, and now the second time. So this year we did the baseline of the National Innovation System. National system, you're thinking about the private sector, the academia, the research institution, the youth, the policies, the national innovation funding, and so forth. So what is coming out of this is, one, demystify innovation. If I were to ask right now, how many of us think you're an innovator? Your Excellency, this is how much I struggle. Everyone is an innovator. So we wanted to elaborate, demystify innovation. You can create value, all right? And that's number one. The second is to demonstrate where we are as a country and lay the foundation for what we want to develop as a 10-year National Innovation Master Plan. And we'll talk about it in a little while.
Thank you so much, Dr. Omwansa. Let's give him a warm round of applause. I'll come to you now, Ambassador Marriott. The UK has been at the forefront of innovation-led growth for centuries, as evidenced in the first industrial revolution. Today we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, and the United Kingdom's most recent innovation strategy is titled Leading the Future by Creating It. It identifies 4 pillars, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that and what insights that Kenya could draw from the UK's innovation approach.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say how excited I am to be here for 2 reasons. One, because there is no better place to be in the world right now, apart from possibly the UK, I have to say that as the UK Belosi, to be at the forefront of science, tech and innovation than Kenya. And secondly, because Kenya's approach to tech, and Your Excellency, this is very much at your heart of your agenda here, is because science, tech and innovation is for everybody. It's not an elite sport. It's about how you bring and transform a country and a world together so that everybody benefits from ST&I. I'm delighted that the UK has had over a 30-year partnership in this regard, whether we're talking about the collaboration between KEMRI and Wellcome Trust, the innovative stands and leaders that HE, Your Excellency, you saw just now outside, or the fact that we have funded, so this innovation strategy that you're launching today brings together 3 different reports, one of which has been supported by the UN, 2 of which have been supported by the UK, and I'm delighted that we're going to be able to work together on the 10-year action plan to help Kenya get even further ahead of the competition on tech and innovation.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate her with a round of applause. Mandisa, I'll come to you now. The UNDP recently supported the mapping of Kenya's innovation ecosystem. I've shared some of the data in my intro, which provides a deep dive into Kenya's startup ecosystem space. Perhaps you can just share with us some of your observations from that mapping.
Well, I think a critical issue for all of us is addressing the youth unemployment in the country. So getting that statistics that shows that as much as we're saying Kenya is the heart of innovation, we really need to make sure the youth have the space, the support to be able to get there in terms of employability and also impacting on the sustainable development goals. So really our priority is to make sure that the youth are better engaged in innovation. You can also see from the mapping that 46% of the incubation centers are in Nairobi out of the full mapping. So we want to make sure that we are getting these services out to the counties, the support, the technical capacity development, and that's why we think it's so important having partnered with Kenya to also have this outlook report that helps us to monitor progress on an annual basis from now on.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mandisa. Your Excellency, sir, I'll come to you now. As Chipukizi has just mentioned, your administration has brought a new shift in the way we celebrate Jamhuri Day. We're kicking off Jamhuri Day celebrations with a week-long innovation week. Perhaps you can just tell us what is informing this new thought process and what we should be expecting going forward.
This is not just about the Innovation Week. It's about the whole of government, whole of society approach to doing things differently and recognizing the advantages that we have in the digital space or the technology space. Three things that I could say. When we went around Kenya to ask the people of Kenya what their priorities were, many young people across this nation wanted access to the internet. They saw an opportunity in the digital space, and that is why we are going to invest 40 billion Kenya shillings to roll out 100,000 kilometers of new fiber so that we can cause internet to be in 29,000 schools, 26,000 markets, and ensure that every home that is connected to electricity is also connected to internet. And we have 8.5 million homes. That is to respond to what young people told us across Kenya. Secondly, is to leverage on technology to deal with the challenge of our time. Deal with the challenge of unemployment as we see the obvious opportunity there is to create jobs, to get more young people access the internet, use their talent, knowledge and expertise to create the future, as has been said here, and to innovate, to give us new startup companies, give the ideas. I have gone through the exhibition here, and it is amazing to see the kind of innovation that young people are fashioning and tackling challenges of our time using technology. And much more importantly, we have focused our Jamhuri Day, our Independence Day, because it's an important national day, and we want to profile it as an innovation Jamhuri, because really that is the space that makes sense to the majority of Kenyans at this point in time. Innovation, technology, internet connectivity, digital economy, that's the space that makes sense to the majority of Kenyans, 60–70% of them who are young people. And in conclusion, to say that beyond the celebrations we are having, we are building the infrastructure, and so that we can scale up startups, we can support startups. As you've heard in the statistics, many of them are still in the formative stages. We are going to have a startup bill taken to Parliament early January so that we can have a startup fund that will support innovation, that will de-risk our young people who are working on their innovations, so that there is a fund that we can leverage on, work with other partners to ensure that there is sufficient resources for young people to take a risk on the ideas they have, on the innovations they have, and so that we can use the startup fund to be able to make those innovations a reality, scale them up, and make them full-blown businesses.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We know you have to rush off somewhere else as part of the celebration, so we'd like to thank you for making time. I'll hand it over very quickly to CEO Dr. Omwansa for the launch of the Kenya Innovation Outlook Report, very quickly, and then we'll close the panel.
So like I did say, what we can't measure, we really can't determine the progress of it. So as a National Innovation Agency, consistently on an annual basis, we'll be releasing a National Innovator Outlook. We try to gather as much data as possible about the progress we're making. A fund, for example, is a classic example. How does that translate to a better society? So I will invite the head of state. We hope that by June in the new year, we will have designed the 10-year master plan that we would want the head of state to launch, that will supports the cross-ministerial thinking about where we want to be 10 years down the road. And unless you set a clear target that really capitalizes on your strengths, you don't achieve as much. So we will be inviting you for that opportunity. For now, I'd like to invite the cabinet secretaries and the PSS present. We rise up and take a photo of the Kenya National Innovation Outlook 2022.
Negative. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Thank you. Congratulations for supporting our